Your pal says he takes a magic pill that gives him an extra 2 inches off the tee, and buddy, that's more suspect than my hairline.
Hey, you D-gens out there. Welcome back to the, what are we calling? Hey, Tiara, how are you now?
Oh, good, you?
Oh, not so bad. Man, it has been a minute.
A year?
A minute.
A year?
Well, we did that other thing, you know.
Yeah, it's been
that thing.
like 7 months, 6 months.
Somewhere around there, something like that. Gosh, man. I don't even know where the time has gone. It's been such a blur. Jumping back in with season 10 now, it's just like, wow, all right, how did we do this before?
Right? Right. Oh, we got to do this. Yes. Okay, let's do this.
So yeah, it's been more than 1 week. So all right, so let's get into things like we normally do. So just welcome back. This is How Are You Now? The toughest podcast in Letterkenny. We have back with us this week, Auntie Awesome. Awesome, how are you now?
Good, and you?
Oh, tired as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, deadly.
We've missed you, man.
Missed you too. Been a while
yeah.
since like the last Ag Hall social on the other pod.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
It was very fun. You two should come more often.
The problem is school nights. Well, for him.
Yeah. Well,
school nights.
well,
For me, it's his office. one day I will have an office when he has his studio.
Well, we'll see about that. Oh man. So before we get going, I just kind of want to say welcome back to everybody who's been missing us. If you even know, if you even knew we were gone. I know that we got as of this most recent season quite a few new followers that have followed us on Twitter. I think last I looked, we were 3 away from 4,000. So that's
sounds
awesome.
like a challenge if you're actually listening right now, doesn't it?
Who will be number 4,000? You can follow us on How Are You Now Pod on Twitter. And I think that's pretty much what we are on everything, on Instagram, on the TikTok, which I haven't been on in a while. I would like to get back to doing some of those. But yeah, those stupid moving things. But before we get going, I want to thank all of our guests from last season: Mitch Cole, Al Grego from the Produce Stand, Tim and John from Armbar Audio, Renee Encarnacion, Auntie Awesome, Trevor Risk, and Danielle Chip Lehman. Also, thanks to our independent music artists: No One Sphere, Neostem, Light the Lamp, Hard Money Saints, Flex Decibel, and The Highway Thieves. We have quite a few of them coming back this season, and for next season. Yes, awesome.
Also, shout out to my Shalomi Dan Harush for making a surprise.
I was getting there.
Okay, I'm just saying.
All right, this is the awesome show now. More wine.
I gotta shout out my mishpaha, right?
So yeah, big thanks also to our special cast and crew guests, Dan Harsh and James Daly.
Technically, Trevor Risk every time he's on is a very special.
Yeah,
guest.
well, yeah, he's actually on for, for being like everybody else who wants to join us and hang out and do the show. And yeah, so he's going to be on again this season. He didn't write any of the episodes this season. He did a lot of punch ups according to him, which is great. So he
traveled Eastern Europe for most of COVID. So.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
So let's see, recap of season 9 real quick. So which is kind of what this episode is, and so we'll be getting into a bit of that. So started off last season with a fight because of Dirks, and that came full circle back to this season. full circle with a fight because of Dirks, and mostly because of Dirks. I mean, there was some other stuff in there, but
it's the circle of life.
Yeah, a circle of scrap life. So yeah. So what did you think of season 9? Just real quick.
So overall, I tend to really like the winter series because they're not as plot driven. They're more episodic. I
Mhm.
think they give more room to work on character development and relationship development. Um, to me, they feel like more like the earlier series, um, with more one-liners, lots of repetition, really driving jokes home. That appeals to me. Lots more wordplay.
Yeah.
That's what drew me into Letterkenny in the beginning.
Right.
So I like it. I have increasingly become convinced, however, that the vast majority of the Letterkenny fandom has like seasonal affective disorder or some shit. Because other than series 3, all the winter series all get slagged off initially, and then like 2 series later, people come back and go, "Oh, why can't it be more like series 7?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"I'll kill you because every one of you motherfuckers had nothing but shit to talk about series 7." And meanwhile, I'm here like, I love Krakenag. I'm mildly disappointed that none of you motherfuckers wore red green braces, but I loved Krakenag. So
Yeah,
bring it back.
I honestly, and I think I've said this before. I was not the biggest fan of that season. So, but I mean, I think it was a bit of a departure from what normally would go on.
Yeah.
So it felt different. It did not feel like you were coming back home because of where they were.
So
And
I took the Krakenag and the studio to be like a replacement for the produce stand because it's fucking winter in fucking Sudbury. No one wants to film outside.
I love how you say film.
well, that sounds like a them problem. So
Okay, you know what, bud? You go up there in fucking November and December.
hey, I'll do it. God damn it. I'm wearing shorts right now.
I would pay you to scrap with Wayne. I would film that shit. Tiara, you're on
Maybe
film
20
crew.
years ago. I mean, right now
well,
the exercise he's getting is going up and down stairs.
Yeah. So I'm getting leg day. I'm getting leg day in. So
getting your steps.
Getting my steps, getting my leg day in. So I could offer up a hearty Katie kick. So
yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I mean, season 9, I enjoyed season 9. And how it just basically jumped right back in as we get into season 10, episode 1, King of Suckers, where we start out and we're opening another nice cold open, not necessarily picking up or leading to anywhere, but I used it in the intro clip there about
well, some of it will come back later in the season for sure, though.
so yeah, Wayne and Derry covering such topics as Viagra, sex work, gaslighting, social media, dating, steak, especially overdone steak, IUDs and DUIs, Shania Twain, sexually transmitted infections, Brett the Hitman Fart, being hypocritical, and women who will fight you. So
okay, hold on. The clip that you used for the intro, that's
Your
as
pal
suspect
says he
as
takes a magic pill that gives him an extra 2 inches off the T, and buddy, that's more suspect than my hairline.
What is he trying to say about his hairline? Is Jared
I think
like,
we
preparing
all
us
know.
for the...
Yeah.
I think we all know
There's a
that
little
Jared,
bit of a-
like me, is
which
getting
is
a little.
why he combs it forward.
Exactly.
For that
So
character.
that's
the character's like 10 years younger
So-
than Jared in actual life.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
it's.
love it when they poke fun at themselves.
Oh yeah, totally. So yeah, So I could see it. I am of the aging sort of guy who that is happening to, as well as you might be able to see. And real quick, shout out to BJ Murray, who seems to be listening to us right now, and give us some shout outs on the comment section on the Facebook. Hello, BJ. I'm at the Facebook on the YouTubes. That's where they are. So anyway, so yeah, you were saying about you don't agree that he's got a receding hairline, or
I mean, like photographic evidence has not led me to the conclusion that it's receded any further than it was when he was shooting 19.2. So I don't know.
It's a little thin. It's a little thinner, I would say. but that's just me because I identify with that.
See, I think if he really wants to hide that shit, he needs to grow it back out and give us them like Irish curls again, right? Like those are a gift from Mr. and Mrs. Kizo. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think the problem with that isn't there's like a wrestler that looks just like him.
Yeah,
and
Adam
if Kisa grew his
Page.
hair, if Kisa grew his hair out, they could be twins, and that's
Kizo's got like the Irish fro. So
Okay.
it would be way, way curlier, way tighter to the head.
Yeah, I've seen him with his hair long. So yeah, it gets curly.
Oh yeah.
I think if I ever let mine back in that day get that long, it's really got those waves, those curls and waves in there.
Mm.
All right. So after go ahead.
I'm still upset there's no photographic evidence of you with long hair. I just wanted to put that out on the internet in case anybody out there actually has the evidence that I've been striving for 15 years.
Yes, slide into Tiara's DMs, eh?
Anyway, so from the cold open, we jump in to Modine's, where we do a recap of the season 9 finale, where they cover briefly Indian Energy versus Bro Dude, DNA, Shorzy, Two Cock, Revoke Championship, Anik and Dirks getting together, and then finally Marie Fred showing up there at the end. And then a bit more than a month later, we get to the Hick boys, Riley Jonesy, along with Tyson and JB, sitting on the back of a couple of trucks discussing their best scraps / Donniebrooks. Tyson mentions how Wayne is the king of suckers, which Wayne says that's high praise coming from him. The discussion gets to the propriety of suckers in different fights. Might help if I could find my clips.
You never sucker a guy on a one-on-one.
That's dishonorable.
Oh, unless he previously suckered me first, eh, you fucking nut tugger?
as he gives a little side eye to Tyson there for being a for being a sucker.
Introduction. Maybe.
And a fucking hypocrite, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so yeah, Wayne may be the king of suckers. Tyson is the instigator of suckers. So
Yeah.
Just saying.
all right. So anyway, the etiquette, and then it gets an etiquette and fights in general about how the Hicks, you scrap, shake hands, have a maybe have a beer. The hockey players
have a beer.
Yeah, the hockey players don't necessarily agree with that, but anyway, then at that point at the end, Jim Dickens joins the guys, opens a beer, and then we cut to back at the Indian Energy launch at Modine's. Gail is kicking everyone out of the bar. Riley and Jonesy realize that they're missing Tassie and Cassie and go off to hunt for them. Axe / Shania and Tanis are talking about a plan with the Bro Dude rep lady. Tanis asks the Bro Dude rep lady to go outside and talk. That's after a little discussion about how sexy she was. Dan and Derry are sitting at the bar, giving Dirks the 5th degree, and are ready to throw down.
I'm not as dumb as you look, my favorite of the guys, for your very, very kind eyes. Long Dick Dirks comes prepared, very processed, very prime.
You said it wouldn't get ugly.
He says a lot of things.
She's right, baby boo.
Oh, is she?
If you want to date a bad boy, you can't be upset when he does bad boy things.
And that's not untrue. I mean,
I just think it sounds like he's swallowing a burp on every other line,
Right. Yes. It's very
he's got the toothpick in his mouth. I think he's trying to deal with the toothpick in his mouth, and he's trying to, and he's just, I think he's making a point of, how awesome he is. Or how awesome he thinks he is. So yeah, just right at that point, you see that Dirks has brought 3 of his buddies. One of them is the balloon animal muscle guy that they beat up already in season 9. Anik at that point leaves Dirk's side to go sit next to Rosie and Katie. Dirks introduces the balloon animal guy as Elmo Adrianus, a Dutch name that is hyphenated. Elmo then introduces his 2 cousins, Aldert Christoffel and Van Vasbram Ambroos, and they
which is 3 names,
right? 3 hyphenated names, and because they are cousins, they all have the same last name, Rensburg van Kuverden.
I love that I could never say that.
Kuverden.
Kuverden.
The conversation then turns to back to Dan and Derry, frustrating Elmo like they did the last time, just to keep him talking. then the backup arrives. The fight begins. All of Dirk's crew gets their ass kicked, and all the while Dirk is attempting to find his way out, but he is stopped by Wayne. We cut now back to the present, more discussion of the number of suckers Wayne got in. This led to a couple of math jokes at the expense of Tyson and Joint Boy. Dickens then asks,
Were all these fellas bigger than you?
Pert ears.
Just painting a mental picture.
Yeah, pretty near mostly.
Pert near no one's bigger than Joint Boys, those.
Yeah, pretty near only a few are bigger than Tyson, too.
Any reservations about beating on someone smaller than you?
Well, if there was, how'd you ever be in a scrap?
Yahtzee. I think that's my favorite line of the entire episode. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
have already turned that into a GIF.
Oh yes.
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee.
Wasn't that at Trevor's behest too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
That was a Twitter thing.
Okay.
I was in that
All right.
stream.
So
Yeah.
So from there, we rejoin the fight that happened. And you see Wayne has got Dirks by the collar and is dragging him over where Katie is sitting and commences slamming him into the floor as Katie stands over him, which, I mean, I think if I was going to get my ass kicked, looking up Katie's mini skirt would
Right.
not be a bad way to go.
That
I mean,
bothered me.
because I saw that, I'm like, that just looks like he's looking up her skirt.
Yes.
So
Yes, and that Wayne put him there twice.
yeah,
I think
I
by
mean,
the
maybe
time
the
his
angle-
head hits the floor, he's unconscious already.
could be. Well, that's it. He sees heaven and then he goes. Sees heaven, goes to hell.
This is what you're missing out on. Bye.
Bye.
Anyway, we're back again. So Derry says that wasn't even the biggest story of the night. JB and looks at Riley and Josie and asks them if they ever got their things sorted out. Back again, we see Riley and Jonesy getting a call from Cassie and Tassie, who are both sitting on the edge of Shorzy's hot tub. They are upset that Shorzy not only lost them the championship, but also took their sweeties. Shorzy then lets Riley and Jonesy know that Cassie and Tassie jumped into his truck all on their own, of their own accord. The conversation then turns to the DNA test for Ancestry.com. Turns out Riley and Jonesy had 0% native blood, so Shorzy had a native gal that he's been wheeling spit in their cups. And then they get into a bit of fuck you, Shorzy, fuck you, Riley, fuck you, Jonesy. Back to present. Riley and Jonesy complete the story about how they're back to just one ship, but then JB tries to jump into the conversation.
Wait.
Oh, fucking here comes algorithm face.
Up next, multivariable calculus.
Hey, let's hear some algebraic geometry, you fucking ape.
Up next, reciprocity's laws.
Fucking dynamic systems and differential equations. Fucking here we go now.
I'm not a math guy either, JB.
Pathos, the
Oh, God,
sympathy.
I love that. Riley then confirms to Derry that they are back trying to get another ship, but this time it's with beer league hockey, which Jonesy said it shouldn't even be considered real hockey.
Beer league is beer league. It's its own genre.
Sorry?
Genre.
Genre?
It's its own genre, Dickskin.
Dickens.
When you double down on your stupidness, I mean, it's
There's
always
no
fun.
helping some folk.
Nope, not at all. So just then, Tanis shows up with Axe and Slash. She calls for Tyson and Joy Boy to do some push-ups. She then explains that they're her spokesmodels, and that she then introduces Shania as her Indian energy girl. The Bro Dude rep then shows up with Anik as her Bro Dude girl. Tanis then introduces Rosie and Katie as the faces of the collaboration. Sko Dude, let's bro in. They then finally introduce Tupac as their entertainment. Stuart, Rolled, Allie, and Bianca all show up, but the ladies are confused, Allie and Bianca, as to how this is all going to work since they had such a bad falling out last time. It's then explained that Tanis and the Bro Dude rep are now dating. And that's the nice way to put it. He's fucking her good. Gail then calls them all inside for the new launch. After they all walk in, Marie Fred shows up and heads inside the bar. Credits.
Dickies has really reinvented like the shotgun cut to black.
Right?
Well, yeah, it's it was good to see. I hope to see Marie Fred back in some way, shape, or form. I don't think she's the evil person that everybody thinks she is. She fucked up and she's not allowed back. I get that. Completely fine with that. But as an actress, I think she's good. I think she lends something good to the show. So it's good to see her coming back every so often, even if it's not permanently. But it's on a every so often basis. I think is good.
And I think it was kind of inevitable given how series 9 ended with that, again, the shotgun cut to black ending with the two of them standing face to face. So we'll of course see how that plays out over the course of this series. Let's see.
Wait, before you go too far into that, I have a question about your theory on stuff.
Okay.
So when season 9 ended, nobody knew that season 10 would be a year and a half later.
Yeah, like literally no.
Right. Do you think that they scrapped storylines that they had started and just tied up some things in this so that they could move on with more storylines that they've come up with because there's been so much time? I feel a little bit like, without talking about the whole season,
right?
I feel like there are a couple of things that probably weren't the original track, including the Marie Fred thing.
I can't speak to that with any authority, but I do feel like some things were probably altered given the unexpected hiatus. I mean, because everybody knew that they weren't going to be shooting until next spring after the tour had wrapped up.
Just so happened to be right exactly when COVID hit.
Yeah. And then they're like, well, okay, fuck. And now Kizo and Tierney and Risky and everyone has all this extra time to write shit. So, I'm willing to bet some things evolved quite a lot between the wrap on series 9, which was in December of 2019.
Yeah.
And shooting 10 and 11, which was in May of 2020.
Right.
So, or May of 2021.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Supposed to be May of 2020.
Yeah, it was supposed to be 2020, but fuck all happened that year. We just write that one off.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, what is time?
To be fair.
To be fair. Because we have now moved and we have been living here for 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
2 weeks,
2 weeks,
like
give or take.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, give or take. But yet, when I think back to all of 2020, it feels like that was yesterday. But
it also feels like a million years ago.
But also a million years ago. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, time is fake. It's a social construct, whatever. There's nothing inherently Wednesday. No, yeah, so I'm willing to bet that in the interest of keeping the shooting schedule tight and based on availability and who they could get in safely and what insurance would allow, I'm willing to bet some storylines evolved.
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, I think the episode that we've got Trevor coming in for definitely had a little bit of that in there. I think so, which we'll get into at that point. But I do think that it was addressed to some extent. Yes.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of bundling things up that were, like the whole energy drink thing. I feel like maybe the plan for that had been a lot more drawn out, and instead we got, they jumped in bed and a month later.
Yeah,
which
like
is
that could
fine
have been
because,
like 2 or 3 episodes, and
Right,
instead they just
right.
like made it kind of tidy,
Exactly.
just to keep everything within restrictions, because they did have some pretty severe restrictions filming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've had much more tight restrictions up there from what I've seen in Ontario anyway. I don't know about the others, but I mean, I know my guys Kevin and Cole from Super Fun Time Trivia, who would go do pub trivia, and I mean, and they're hilarious guys. So if you ever have a chance,
to be North Bay.
North Bay, yeah, they're out of North Bay, Ontario. And Cole actually went to school with Patrick. So anyway, they do a great trivia show when they're allowed. So, but check out their podcast, Super Fun Time Trivia. They're hilarious. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up before we talked more about, like, because bringing up the Marie Fred thing, I do feel like, although I like what happens in this season, I think maybe that had not been at all what was on their minds when she showed up at the end of season 9.
Yeah, maybe not the original plan.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was why I brought that up.
We'll probably, and I think because that's our next episode,
Mhm.
that we'll probably get into that with Mr. Dennis when he's on the Googs. So
Oh, God.
he needs the Googsy. No, we'll ask him.
No.
No.
I mean, Denny's just not right. He's got to have
He's not wearing like a salmon pink tie. You can't call him Denny.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said Googsy.
I don't think that one works, man.
No. All right. Well, you know what? That's what we'll have to ask him if he's got any nicknames.
Or any
Anyway.
hockey nicknames. Man's had about 101 fucking professions. Fuck.
Yeah. And we're gonna have to have him on the Disputed. So because he's that's gonna be fun. Because we're gonna have some Wayne versus Shorzy and Squirrely Dan and Derry.
Yeah, I'm a little bitter that I wasn't asked.
Hey, I'm not done. I set up the Wayne versus Shorzy. That was the first one I set up. I haven't done any others since, really.
Well, I'm bitter that I wasn't asked about Wayne v. Shorzy.
No, you don't get that one. You don't get that one. You're too biased. You're way too biased.
I thought you wanted a strong advocate. My opinions are passionate and well reasoned.
No, here's what because I'm gonna have you do. We'll figure something out special for you. Special, just special. Go and if you haven't checked us out on disputedpod.com. So
there you go.
So all part of the Podscure Podcast Network.
Nice, smooth with it too,
right?
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there will be. So we're setting up scrappers. A whole fucking. It's going to be a bracketed division. Brawlers. So it's going to be a brawler division and a martial arts division, basically. So. And then we'll come to the top to see who's who.
Jet Li's gonna have to fight himself like in that one movie where he's trying to like eliminate all his alternates. Because he does both.
Yeah, well, see, and that's because somebody said when I was talking to Demond about that, he goes, what happens when Bruce Lee kicks everybody's ass? I said, which Bruce Lee actor, which Bruce Lee character? Because he's had a bunch. But I mean but see, because
basically the same dude.
Basically, it depends. It's a different situation. Anyway, so yeah, because who I'm excited for Wayne to go up against is both Amos from The Expanse and Jack Reacher.
Okay.
So
right.
So those are going to be tough
ones.
ones.
I've never seen.
Well, see, the Jack Reacher movies were with Tom Cruise. However, they've corrected that and are now making a series that will be on Amazon called Reacher, because the actual Jack Reacher character is 6'5", 250 pounds.
Yeah.
He is not Tom Cruise.
So he's got half a foot of reach and probably 4 stone on Wayne.
And he's also a former MP of a special forces division.
Yeah.
So
sorry, I'm gonna have to go with the guy who's like half a foot taller and 4 stone heavier. Like,
well, I mean, they discussed in this episode that they regularly scrap with dudes that are bigger.
True.
Than them.
Very true.
That is true. And just because you are bigger doesn't mean you know how to use it. Those vanity muscles are not going to help you in a scrap.
Very true. Yeah, well, Jack Reacher.
I think that they would be. I think that they would have a very civil fight, and then they would be like best friends after.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that at all.
Like Bradley,
that's probably that outcome there.
Oh, speaking of Bradley.
Oh, yeah, dude. Okay.
Get closer to your mic, please.
I'm trying. I can't sit upright like everybody. I'm gonna hurt something.
You're fine.
Hi.
Hello.
Temporary situation. Couldn't get something to work like 2 minutes before the episode, so that's why that's why I'm in the corner here. This is how much.
Yeah. Like, is there a way to move our name tags? Because like Tiara is totally cut
right.
off.
Yeah. And every time I looked at something or like read my notes, I'm like, oh, I completely disappeared. Cool.
There you go.
There we are.
Okay. So, I think I know we've talked about it on Boondocks. I don't
Yes,
know
we
if
have.
we talked about it on How Are You Now, but like one of my favorite shows growing up was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Earlier in the pandemic, introduced Dean to it because somehow he had never seen it. And we watched the whole series again, which made me just so incredibly excited.
Yeah.
And then I heard about the reboot and I had a panic attack and was like, I don't know, right? I don't know how I feel about this. Like, Will Smith is a producer, so okay, I can, okay. And basically, like, I watched the trailer today for the first time, and it was, in my mind, like, I think it at some point there was a parody thing of, you know, what if Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was a drama?
Mhm.
Like, that's what this has been. Like, this is that.
That's where the inspiration came from.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, this is like, you know, Uncle Phil is Bradley.
Yeah.
Yes.
Adrian Holmes.
No, I did know that, and I have not yet watched the trailer, and I've tried to like not set my expectations one way or another because I am definitely watching this.
Oh yeah. Looking forward to it.
yeah.
I'm really hoping that it'll be good. But yeah, big props to Adrian Holmes, and also let's while we're at it, let's give a shout out to Jess Salguero for being in Why the Last Man, which they're still trying to save.
Bring it back.
I really enjoyed it.
So good.
Yeah.
And
So
it was so good.
What's
to
the
source
hashtag?
material
Save
and
it
update.
or
Say-
save Why the Last Man?
I think
it's Save Why the Last Man. Yeah.
Yeah, if you follow Jess Salguero on Twitter, she tweets about it a lot and retweets other people's
Yeah.
stuff. So probably would retweet yours.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was awesome in it.
So
But
good.
highly recommend.
Should
yeah.
we move on to like thoughts, theories, and
Well, that's kind of where we were.
Yeah.
Just go. I mean, we're doing the
exciting
trivia.
moment.
We kind of got to the trivia part, which I have listed in here twice. So,
And I've also been like crossing off my questions as we go because it'll
Yeah.
come up and I'll be like, yay, we just talked about that.
yeah. So yeah.
It's been a minute. Getting back
Yeah.
into it.
So thoughts, theories.
So
Okay.
my thoughts, especially on the cold open, that was very back to form to like the original web shorts.
Yeah.
Where it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like Wayne and Derry going back and forth and like, yes, these are the problems of these small town people.
And
Very cute.
and don't
I like
necessarily have anything to do with the episode.
Yeah.
Right.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I have to say that I am both the girl who will take her shoes off on the D floor
I was gonna ask
and the girl who has her phone in her bra. So I'm like the unstoppable
Always.
force meets the immovable object.
Always.
Hell yes. That's nature's pocket, bitch. That's what it's for.
If my
It's
money
either that or your
is-
prison wallet.
No. If my money is warm, trust me, it was in a great place and you wish you were there too.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Oh my.
okay. And then I liked the conceit of the flashbacks because that's not something that they've done really.
They're telling a story and giving us flashbacks at the same
Yeah.
time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
So it's
the
not
only
like
other
it's
time
not
we've seen
it's
that.
it's not necessarily a clip episode,
No.
even though there are some, but they are.
But they're not.
They're-
They're
right.
redone.
Yeah,
They're the
exactly.
Same,
Yeah, it's
because
like the-
Riley and Jonesy's hair are dramatically different.
It's like
but
it's
Yeah,
the cutting
so
room
I
floor
think
clips.
They shot I think they shot that intentionally in
you think so?
2019.
Okay.
I think they shot it maybe a little later than they ended before because seriously, like Playfair's hair is longer and thicker in the flashback than because I watched them and I'm like, wait, no, they're definitely like something. He found some new conditioner or something in between that.
But like looking at tennis, right? Like her parts, I think definitely because she's got the hickeys in exactly the same places. Her hair is exactly the same, the jewelry and everything.
So that's
Can I-
another
can I-
thing that I stared at. because
Can I
of
just
course did.
Can I volunteer to give Tannis hickeys?
The hickey in the end of season 9 is very bright and prominent, whereas the hickey is at least a few days old in the next one, at least at minimum, or they did a makeup job to make it look more like it was before because
Or-
it was not exact.
or she got a whole new hickey.
I think that she got a whole new one, but if we're going on the theory that they were filmed close together, like
Yeah.
there were little differences. Like they I think that they had like a break and then they came back to do that and then COVID hit and they were like, okay, well we can salvage this.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, the only time we've seen like the flashbacks like that is St. Patrick's Day when Dan is telling the story about Legendary.
Right.
Well, Dan and then Katie. But I really like that. That's not something that they overuse. Which there's not a lot that I think that they overuse on this show. But
No.
and
I will say this. I do think sometimes the fuck you Shorzy can go a little long.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think they keep it to a good time.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I think Jared just like tries to use up all the
yeah.
chirps that he can't use with anyone else. Just give him
I'm
to
sure.
Just have him fucking roast Riley and
Yeah.
Jonesy.
Yeah.
That's why they're doing a whole new Shorzy show because he just had too much shit that he could not fit in with that
He's
character.
just wanted to get paid to skate.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I don't
He's
bear
gonna
him any grudge.
Well,
Like,
see, he
Pete
wanted to be a
Force, like,
professional. He wanted to be a professional hockey player. He will be professional playing hockey. So in a way, he kind of
good enough, really, right?
works for
It's
me.
not the show, but it's a show.
That's right.
But yeah, no, so I have to talk about this. Like
All right.
the first fight scene where they toy with Balloon Animal and the cousins. First of all,
Elmo.
props to that motherfucker who can like turn tomato red at the drop of a hat. That is some fucking excellent roid rage acting. I don't know if I've ever seen it done better.
By the way, that actor, and I can't remember his name, is also a regular, semi-regular on What We Do in the Shadows TV
Yes,
series.
I have seen him in that. He is also very funny in there.
He is. He's very funny.
But no, he will forever be Elmo Adrianus now. Like, I'm sorry, dude. That's your name now. Just change your fucking birth certificate. It's fine. It's fine.
Elmo Adrianus Rensburg van Kuverden.
Good one.
Bitch.
But so the song in that fight scene was it put me in mind actually of a scene from Preacher, because they had one that was like an old crooner tune, but not, excuse me. It was more of a retro vibe, and I dug it. But then the second flashback, so we see Wayne at the end of the first flashback. We see Wayne just laying hands on Dirks, and then it cuts.
Right.
And you get a little bit of the interplay between the lads in the trucks. And then when it goes back, you have Wayne dragging Dirks by the collar and laying him down at Katie's feet, kneeling in front of her like a penitent offering a sacrifice.
And she's
just standing there. Yeah.
And
she's
the
not even watching.
Iconography and like the Wonder Woman power pose. Like, what are you trying to tell us here, please? Like, there is a visual language to storytelling, to like films. I'm not over it. Like, I've always
need a moment?
known. Like, I've always known that Katie was the boss of Wayne, but to have it be made like that explicit is, I love it. I love it because like Katie is first and everyone else comes distant second. And like, that's what the point of that was. One thing I wanted to mention was in the first scene, we actually have a pretty decent parallel from the fight in the diner from series 9, episode 1, where they have the lads are all scrapping in the bar,
right,
in the eating area, and then you have the ladies all watching them, and you got like the slow pan over the ladies, and they're all like super into it. Like, you can see like the approval and, not to be, well, to be frank, the arousal on their faces about what is happening in front of them. And then,
Yeah.
like, Katie's looking on approvingly. And then Wayne pops up and she's like dimpling at him because she knows what is about to happen to Dirks and she wants it to happen. Like, just she's so fucking right. She did not
Wants outweighs needs.
Oh yeah. No, she made it clear she did not need any of them to do it, but she did want it.
Well, and also, like, she made it clear that she didn't need it to happen, and then Dirks was a douche and brought his cousins.
Right,
And, like,
like-
there was no other reason for him to bring them unless he was expecting to fight. So,
No, he totally brought this on himself.
Oh,
He
yeah.
absolutely brought it on himself.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, he said he came prepared and primed and processed. So,
Yeah. And all
so-
those fucking like couplets that he's spitting, right? Like, that's like, there's a lot of rhyming and stuff that happens in this show. His seemed a little more contrived, and I'm thinking that's probably on purpose. He's not as slick with it as the Hicks are, like, just natively.
Hmm.
He's putting on a performance to be a tough guy.
Right.
But in the end, he bottles out, and then he gets stopped by like fucking Stewart and Rolled of all people. And the
Roll's
kitchen
doing a
saloon
handstand
doors.
with his legs akimbo.
Yeah,
And
and
Stewart just
Stewart doing
basically-
this. It's like, if that stopped you, if those two stopped you,
Mhm.
like, why did you think you ever had a chance at going toe to toe? Oh, the other thing I want to point out is Wayne does to Dirks what he did to the blue shirt who he caught trapping off with Mary Fred. He does the exact same thing. He bounces him off the floor.
Oh yeah.
The big difference is that blue shirt over in Quebec actually had some balls and stepped to Wayne first. Further, he lasted more than one hit. So
I mean, I do
Years
kind
of
of,
talk.
I do kind of wish that we would have seen that fight at the end of season 8, just to see how quickly it was over. Because
I'm thinking Mans is a one-hit wonder.
I think everybody got one hit in, and he was like practically dead. And that's why he thought he could bring revenge by like
Motherfucker cannot take a punch.
Nope.
I think that's what we see is he's fragile. He can't handle it.
the Dutch.
Right? Like, hold on, wait, Mads Mikkelsen is calling. Fuck.
I mean, there are exceptions to every rule.
Okay. Oh, geez. Now I'm thinking Mads Mikkelsen shows up as Dirk's father.
I don't know that I could handle that.
Right?
Mads Mikkelsen, Runsberg, von Kuverden.
That no.
But then he would eat them all.
Yes, right? Shows up with a fork and knife. Sharp, 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 sharp. No,
I will show you how to cook a steak.
and it's just like
Is also
human
Dutch.
thigh steak.
She could be on there.
Oh boy.
Sorry, I had to. I'm going. Yeah, I hit a rabbit hole.
Are you looking up Dutch actors?
Yes. Oh,
Every time I hear
dude
Dutch,
who
I
played Dario in Game of Thrones is Dutch.
Dario Naharis, the first one.
The
Oh
first
no,
one.
the second one.
That's the second.
That's
Okay.
the second one. The first Dario Naharis didn't last long.
Right. Right.
If you watched Game of Thrones.
He's also in.
I kind of noped out
Orphan
somewhere
Black.
around like the third or fourth rape scene.
Oh yeah, no,
Mhm.
gotta turn that shit off every time. Oh, Funka Jensen, that makes sense.
Ah, I'm done with that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Like Jean Grey shows up in Letterkenny.
Mm.
Oh
even
man.
even with the plastic surgery that she's had like it's better now.
It's settled
Like
down.
what's her name, Vivica Fox that we saw not that long ago.
Hmm.
I was like, oh, she got that shit repaired. Good for her.
Yeah, some of those remember I can't remember the guy who used to, it was a ventriloquist with Madam.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember Madam, the God, it was
Oh,
really bulbous chin and very stuck out. So So yeah.
nose.
Yeah. So
Hmm,
yeah, look,
interesting.
I can't remember. I can't remember the ventriloquist guy's name, but yeah, Madam was her name, and she was basically like like from an old 20s actress is kind of what she was supposed
Oh,
to be.
that baby
has
doll
been-
look.
Was that a
Yeah.
Carol Burnett thing?
I don't think that was. I don't know. I don't think. No, he was.
Now, what's her bucket from? She was Helena Troy and in National Treasure. She's Dutch, the blonde
don't-
one.
I don't know. I haven't seen either of those.
Those are two very good
Wayland
feel good
Parrot
films. I recommend.
Flowers.
I don't like to feel good. I like to feel evil.
So it's Wayland Flowers and Madame
There you
Oh,
go.
okay.
from the 70s and 80s.
But yeah, look. I mean, the way she was done is like her cheeks had implants in them that was
Yeah.
make it like
Ooh.
golf balls under her cheeks.
Ooh.
So yeah, so some of that
Ouch.
and accented by rouge. So
Oh wow, that's some
Yeah.
like Elena Bonham Carter in that weird fucking Alice film.
I never saw that.
Oh
one.
yeah, the when the
Yeah,
balloon
no, that's
head
how
thing.
Victorian dolls were often painted.
Hmm.
Yes.
Very weird look altogether. So,
Okay, I need to stop.
All right.
actually, the actual subject of this.
Yeah, I was gonna
fucking
say, do we
pod-
have any more thoughts and theories and such? Because
So, I definitely think that the two trucks outside with the two truck beds
yeah.
and I think
Tailgating.
that was definitely some COVID shooting.
Yes.
Having everybody separated that far. And just in the series as a whole, without spoiling anything, there's a lot like Letterkenny has always used wide shots to great effect.
Mhm.
There's just a lot more of them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think it doesn't detract anything from the show. It kind of like hammers home their previously established style.
Mhm.
So I think that worked very well.
Yeah. I'm sure Bill and crew were
Yeah.
happy
But-
to we're happy to be able to set up something simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really. And then I do like the fact that Tannis solved her, problem with what's her bucket, Emma. By just
Is that her name, or
Yeah,
Emma?
that's
Is
her
Emma
name.
her character name, or is that her real
Emma's
name?
her character name.
Oh, I don't. I don't ever thought
The
I never
actress's
saw-
name is Vanessa Matsui.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, no, she solved that problem by just hooking up. And it's actually nice to see a female character get like a legit girlfriend and not just like a one-off hookup. That's
Right.
nice. I do like that.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't if you've watched the series, she's there for more than one episode. So I mean, she's not there, but she is part of the conversation in more than one episode.
Yeah. And then I think I did like Jim Dickens saying Yahtzee twice.
Mhm.
Trying to think what else. Oh, the harken back to like the making fun of JB for all the maths stuff. Like they first did that in series 2 episode 4 Native Flu. And I like that they've like picked that particular element from the earlier series and plonked it down in this later series. It does make it feel like it's continuous.
Did you pick up on? It seemed like Jared was trying to stifle
So much.
laughter.
Yes.
A good bit. I
No,
mean, there was a few where he gave in to the grin for sure.
Yeah. Like you can see his shoulders hunching a little tighter.
Oh fuck! Look at that hero.
Like, and he gets like up into the Shoresy voice. He gets a little
Yep.
high up. Well, higher. He's already got a pretty.
Differential equations.
And Dan, God love him, reciprocity laws.
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity is that I can't say it how he says it. Like I no. But no, I like that picking up of an old thread and bringing it through to a much later series. I mean, it's kind of a brick joke, but like I said, I think it makes it feel like a through line.
Yep.
So
Agreed. Yeah. So yeah, it and this kind of goes back to what I was saying. It feels more like home, you know. So
Right.
that we've come back to where we should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got to?
Oh, so Cassie and Tassie ran away with Shorzy. And that was another one that was obviously filmed much after because both Cassie and Tassie's hair was dramatically longer.
And very different colors.
And very different colors, yes. But like, are they going to be part of Shorzy, do you think? Could that be?
I have not seen their names in connection with the show.
Okay.
And Belle has put out a couple of announcements about who's been cast.
I thought that might be what they were hinting at there, because they always do stuff like that when they're about to do a spinoff.
Right. And I mean, they're not from Letterkenny. They're from the city. So they could conceivably go anywhere, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Shorzy, the show, is going to be much more focused on the hockey storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, so why did Dirks show up at all? Was he specifically just going there to try and start a fight? Or was there some other reason why he was trying to go and just he figured it would turn into a fight, so he brought his friends for that?
Well, I mean, keep in mind, the Bro Dude rep at the end of Series 9 did show up and say that she had signed him as an athlete.
But she didn't mention him when they were talking about the combining of everything. So
no, because they had already kicked his ass at that point.
Right.
I think him getting signed was possibly some kind of machination on his part. He seems like that type to overthink something and overplan. I just don't think he was prepared, primed, or processed at all to deal with the actual fucking consequences of his goddamn action.
I did find it really funny that he like kept checking his watch when what was it, Elmo? Say it again. Say his name.
Elmo Adrianus.
Yes.
Rumsberg von Kuverden.
Rumsberg von
When
Kuverden.
Chirping was going back and forth between Dan, Daryl, and Elmo. Yeah. Dirks kept like he would look at his watch and like under his breath be like, all right, like wrap it up. Like,
Wind it
he knew
up.
this was gonna happen. And he's just like sitting and letting it happen and okay, are we done yet? Kind of thing. Like
keep it together.
I feel like he did plan for a lot of things in that situation, but all of it started because he brought them instead of like showing up with any kind of respectfulness.
No, right, and like way back when when Series 9 dropped, I pretty much said he is going to get his ass kicked again. And somebody, and I can't remember whether it was on Discord or Reddit, said, well, you know, why? Like once Wayne beats a dude, it's done. And I'm like, unless he like fucks up again. And I said, I think that Dirks showing up in Wayne's town, in Wayne's bar, to fuck with Wayne's friends pretty much counts as fucking with Wayne again. You know, like there are lines you don't cross. And if you've already
he definitely
out
came
on
to
his
stir
system,
some shit.
yeah. And even if, you know, Riley and Jonesy, you know, hockey, I don't know what your fucking names are. Even if he's just fucking with them, seriously, like there has been a very clear line established throughout the entire show about in groups versus out groups. And Dirks is very much an outsider coming into Letterkenny to fuck with Letterkenny.
Yep.
Even the parts of it that Wayne doesn't necessarily like, he's still going to defend because that's his fucking job as the toughest guy in Letterkenny.
Yep. Don't fuck with my homeboys.
Yeah. Like even if I don't actually like them and I don't know what their fucking names are, I'll still kick your ass.
Or if you're a dirty fucking skid, it doesn't matter.
So the other part about that I was really kind of dwelling on, I guess, would be Anik isn't a bad person. Like she likes the bad boy type, obviously, and was probably superficially dating this dude. Like, what did he tell her was the reason he was going there? Because she didn't know that he had invited his cousins and was like ready for a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, so I genuinely think that Anik got signed in, what was it, Series 7 or Series 8?
8.
It was
Wasn't
8.
7.
Well, seven
was
is
a winter series.
7 was the crack and egg series, right? So
Yeah, and I think
that's
she left
so
him at the end of that
so
one,
she
too.
was in that one for at the
She was
very
with
end.
Derry
So
in
Derry
that
was
one.
going
Okay,
back
so
at the end of
yeah,
7.
so it was
So she was in
series 8.
6.
But she became the bro dude.
Oh, gotcha. I'm with you
Yeah,
now.
she
Yeah,
became
yeah.
the Brood rep in
Right. So that
series
was so
Right.
yeah, that would have been 8. Yes, correct.
and that happened before Brood rep signed Dirks, right?
Right.
So I think they
Right.
met through the job.
Yeah.
I think that was probably total coincidence. I am whether or not Anik is a bad person intrinsically, I think is kind of beside the point. Like I don't think she's been demonstrated to be very clearly. But I am deeply, deeply suspect of her taste in men.
Yes.
Like, what was Derry? A momentary blip of good judgment?
Well, even with Derry, let's be honest, he's an interesting.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. Barn clothes
I mean,
aside,
he won't get out of his
listen,
barn
he won't
clothes.
get out of his barn
barn
clothes,
clothes
and he's
aside,
very possessive.
he is a
and
sweetheart.
He's a sweetheart, yes.
He's
But maybe bad boys are sweethearts too. Maybe Dirk's like because Katie liked him for a reason. Maybe he is a sweetheart, and she just didn't believe. Like she believed that cheating on Katie was just an idiot.
Yeah, Dirks has
If
charm.
she even knew about that.
Yeah.
I think she did because she specifically was like, Katie, I wanted you to be the first to know. I wanted you to tell you myself that I'm now dating your
She knew
ex.
that Katie and Dirks had gone out, but I don't know if she knew how it ended.
I would assume, well, if she and Marie Fred are still friends, I would assume so because Marie Fred was the one that called to say that that Dirks was cheating.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know.
Marie Fred is such an opaque character to me. I don't know why she.
Yeah.
I know she went to tell Wayne to get back into his good graces, and I don't know that the same logic would apply to Wayne as Anik, because Anik was supposed to marry Fred's brother, and obviously she did not do the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
why would Murray Fred be interested in like they're friendly, but they're not like biffles or anything, right? They're not like
Well, say I
best
always
friends forever.
because
they were better friends.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
she didn't Marie Fred didn't seem really upset when Anik broke up with her brother. Like she didn't seem excited that she was marrying her brother either. Like I think her brother was maybe not the greatest guy.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, her brother's
he is French,
definitely an
so-
asshole. Like, let's be clear. But like we don't know how Marie Fred feels about that kind of thing. I mean, she says she thinks it's stupid, but we don't know how she interacts with her family aside from like the one brief Jean-Claude, Jean-Lance. Like she's tired of it, but she's also like actively trying to get laid at the time. So
yeah.
I don't know what Anik knew going into the situation. And she genuinely does seem surprised that Dirks would tell her, you can't date a bad boy and be upset when he does bad boy things. She's like, oh no, right? Like, because she clearly thought that they had an understanding.
True.
And it turns out, no, they didn't. And that's why she, abruptly switched sides. The other thing is I find it interesting that Dirks thinks of himself as a bad boy when, again, bitch can't handle a single hit.
It's just because he's a skater boy.
It's like in roller derby, we would have people who really wanted to be roller girls. And so they would buy the outfits and they would learn how to skate. And then the first time they ever, had to do an endurance challenge or get hit by somebody, they were out because it was just too much and too scary. Like that's Dirks to me.
Yeah. I mean, like, first of all, hashtag can't relate. Secondly, I've taken way too many hits in my life. I can take a fucking hit.
Oh, hitting is fun. I mean, in roller derby.
That full body contact, I love
part.
it, right? You
My favorite
smash
part of
someone up on
coaching
the
was
boards.
teaching that. Yes. Hell
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So long
yeah.
ago.
No, like No, it's Dirks is not a bad boy. He's got the image, but he's just a fucking poser.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he is. He's all image. There's nothing behind it.
All image, no substance.
Yeah. So
Yep. I know a few
that's
people
my
like
take.
that. Or I've known a few people like that.
Yeah.
Well, I just have one more thing, and it's more of an observation. I did notice, especially in this episode, how hard the product placement for puppers was, which is so frustrating as an American because we don't got it down here. So just putting that out to the universe. Hey, I don't even drink beer, and I would love to buy a fucking puppers.
I don't just want the puppers, although yes, a novelty can would be nice.
Yeah, yeah.
I want. There are like 3 different specific puppers posters now that I want, and the fucking web store does not have and has never had at Danny Ellis. Please,
Just
do
send
me
us
a
the,
solid.
just send us the fucking JPEG or something.
Daddy.
But yeah, because we need some we need some of the Letterkenny. I mean, yeah, right. As you can see right here, I don't know if you can tell what that is. That's the Letterkennyopoly right there.
Yes, that is.
Oh,
You motherfucker! They haven't sent me one.
Well, I'm having them on the show, so.
I hooked you up.
Hey,
Oh,
Renee.
yeah, I'm bringing him up.
Hey.
Hey, Renee,
Make it up.
send
Get
me
it.
one too, please.
Pitter patter, Renee.
Let's have a party.
Please, Renee. Please.
Come on over.
Please.
Come on over. Yeah. So make with the puppers.
Yeah.
So anything else?
That's the end of my list.
All right. Well, are we ready for a little a little Fuck Fight Ferda is our version of Fuck Marry Kill, where we don't like to kill anybody and nobody gets married in Letterkenny, so we're just gonna be your buds. So we'll say Ferda boys or girls or for them or whoever. For the guys, the gals, and those beyond the binary. So
That's from what's his name?
oh, that was from Sleep With Me.
With Me
This is the Sleep With Me podcast. Can I borrow your pen? Because I
Maybe.
forgot to bring one over
There's
here.
one right there.
Oh, I couldn't see that there because it's behind the thing. So, as we like to do, we start off with the Hicks, and we start off as we do with Wayne. Awesome. I think we know where you are.
Yeah, just fuck. Come on. Also,
Right.
I have to ask: are we considering Wayne and Rosie as a unit?
No.
Nuts.
No. Yeah, I mean, because
this episode like as a couple the whole time.
See if
maybe, but...
yeah, if well, or if they were a couple like the McMurrays, who definitely have an open relationship,
right?
Then yes, I could do that. I
Well,
will not do that
'cause-
with Wayne and Rosie.
They are firmly established as a couple in this episode, though.
However, unlike Riley and Jonesy or Tyson and Joint Boy, they are not always together.
True.
Or so it's
I just
mostly
don't see
just
Wayne
them.
actually doing anything without what's her face, without Rosie.
It is what it is. I mean,
But yes, I will fuck Wayne. Obviously, all the time, always.
all right.
Oh yeah.
T.
Ferda.
Wayne.
Honestly, like, all the fighting is cool and shit, but I'm nah, doesn't turn me on.
I do like when his shirt like pulls up out of the waistband of his jeans, though. Like, did you see that?
Oh, that reminds me of something actually that I noticed that Wayne didn't uncuff his cuffs
until
he went after Deers. Yeah.
Because that other dude's just a fucking distraction.
Right.
That's the main event. That asshole there.
This is where the belt's for. This is where I'm winning the belt. And all right, so from there we go with Derry.
Ferda.
Yeah, he did not do. I mean, he showed up a little bit, but did not do much. Although I did appreciate some of the math chirps; those were pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'll defer to him this time too. Also, he's a bit weak when it comes to Anik, and I'm not into that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes because we so Renee just popped up loving the new background and the dog barking is extra awesome. So yeah, I think he's talking about this background.
Oh, that
the background for the video. I'm guessing. I mean that background's nice, but
well, it was like when we were in Protestant, they were like they missed the red.
yeah,
so,
I'll have to put up the red. I'll have to put up the red curtain again.
This is the temporary studio until we actually build one at our new house. So.
But yeah, so because we're also getting a lot of deliveries because we need new things for the house, so daily basis right now. Yeah.
Yep.
So they all go nuts.
There's 2 dogs upstairs and 2 dogs downstairs.
Yeah.
And one of the dogs upstairs is highly reactive if anyone comes up on the porch. And currently there is a door that you can see shadows but not see through it.
Aha.
So yeah.
So anyway. All right. So you're both Ferda on dairy. Katie. Miss Katie's. All right. It's good you know your American Sign Language.
I mean, I'm Ferda.
All right.
Like she's cool shit and all, but like I don't know. Maybe it's just this episode doesn't. There's no one really does it for me.
I'm sorry. The Wonder Woman power pose at the end just clinched it.
I can't get past the she's practically standing over his face. Like just
okay, but think about it like this: she could be standing on his neck.
I kind of like when I first saw it, I was like, I bet she's not wearing underwear, and she's like, look at what you are fucking missing,
right?
Like what you could have had.
I mean, I don't typically worry about a line under my pleather skirt, but you know, she could be. I don't know.
You never know. I mean, it is her forte. So,
right.
Squirrely Dan
Wants is outweighing needs, Miss Katie's.
So you got the wants, huh? The wants. You probably got the wants and the needs.
He can see to my needs.
I'm gonna say Ferda in this one, but it's in the back of my mind, Dan is always like pretty up there.
I was about to say that I think this is the first time I'm a fuck Dan and you're not.
Yeah.
Well,
sounds like it.
This episode is like wrapping up a lot of stuff, and there's no real to me, there's no real meat to each character's because there's so many in this episode. So
yeah,
it's one of those things. Again, I had this conversation with someone the other day. Like, I can't imagine that just like because I am not a person who has ever been up to like straight like casual sex, right? So like when I'm saying fuck on this, I'm saying that it broke through my deminess and I would still sleep with this person based strictly on what I know in this episode and their background and kind of thing. But it's weird for me. So
for those of you out there in the public who don't understand what deminess means, she's referring to demisexuality, which means you do not feel sexual attraction until there is some sort of bond with that person.
Yes.
So
yeah,
the more you know.
I love the protectiveness in this show. So
Aww.
So Renee's coming out in March and getting a new pupper and all that good stuff.
And by March we might actually have a guest bed. So
yeah. Hopefully it's not at the same time as the Letterkenny Live that we're going out to see in March.
Right.
Do we actually think that's going to happen?
I think it will. I think
don't
it will.
jinx us.
I mean, listen.
If this tour gets postponed again, I'm going to put my shit.
Listen. You're not allowed. You're not allowed. I stayed positive about this goddamn house.
No, I stayed positive. You weren't able to even talk.
I wasn't able to. Oh, I didn't go negative.
He wasn't able to talk about what we might want to do with the house because thinking about something positive was too difficult for him. And I am the one who literally stayed positive the whole time. And now I'm like, I am so fucking done being positive.
Nope.
He's like, no, you gotta be good. Everything's fine.
You got to be positive about this.
I have my homestead now.
Nope. Nope.
I am safe.
Not allowed.
I
Nope.
have I know where the shotgun is.
Nope.
I know how to lock my door. And I have neighbors that like tell me that they're excited that we live in the neighborhood and can't wait to get to know us better. Unlike my old neighbors who would look at me suspiciously and maybe call the cops to come and check out why this person was standing out in front of the house for however fucking long, whatever.
Fucking
Anyway,
White Hood states.
well, this is yeah.
Oh, but you're one of the good ones.
Hit him, Tiara. Hit him.
Anyway,
You
where
know
were
those
we?
people.
Yes, I do.
Yes,
know those
unfortunately.
So we are at
Yeah.
Riley and Jonesy now.
Riley, oh,
Idiots.
idiots.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
I
are
like
you?
Titus calls them? Did she call them dum dums?
Yes,
Beautiful
she called them
dum-dums.
beautiful
Beautiful
dum-dums.
I fucking love that.
That was so cute. And then Riley is like, "Oh, I fucking love hats."
Right? They were so happy
like,
to be
yeah,
included.
Auntie nailed
Yeah.
that shit. Beautiful
Well-
dum-dums is
Well, it's like they
exactly
were
right.
they were back into being representatives to do their
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, I love hats.
Some free hat. Yeah.
So are we fucking fighting or Ferda?
Okay, let's go through this like point by point.
They're beautiful
I don't
dum-dums.
like the way they did Tassie and Cassie, right? Like the way that Riley and Jonesy treated them. I don't like that.
Could they
On
help
the other
it?
hand, they did get hard done by Shorzy. I don't think that excuses anything, but it does give a little bit of sympathy. On the third hand, Shorzy was genuinely trying to help him out. It's not his fault. Somebody had a vendetta against them that was out of his control.
I mean, he could have always just said, you know, you're not native, and then they would have found somebody else, or maybe he could have found two people to spit in their
Right.
cups. You know, if I'm sure he's wheeling more than one. So
Honestly. But it came back positive for all three of them, so you'd have
Right,
to
all three of them
find
got
like
the same.
two
well,
more.
well, no, I think,
Also, Shorzy asking a broad he's wheeling, like, do you think that they can't tell
Brodsky.
the difference between? Okay.
Right?
So-
well, maybe the native team's co-ed. Who gives a fuck?
Okay.
sure, why not?
But
Anyway, they're Ferda for me.
All right. There you go.
I'll
That's
give
what
them
I
a
was looking
I'll
for.
give them a pity Ferda.
Yeah,
'Cause they
it's a
lost
pity
the ship.
Ferda.
All right.
They lost a ship and they lost Cassie and Tassie, although that was their own fault.
That was their
No.
own fault. 100p.
Now, because they are not sitting in the same truck, I'm separating these two, Tyson and Joint Boys. So Tyson first. It's taking you a while.
Ferda. I mean, I do like that he gives Wayne proper shit. Because hardly anybody does that. But also I really liked how like childish Wayne was in his entire response. Right, like, he
looks like
dead
the two of
legs.
them have really bonded.
He dead legs Tyson like
Uh-huh.
3-4 times. And then gets like really like a shitty little bitch when Tyson like whacks him back lightly
That's
once.
He used the
And-
same response with Katie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
no,
That's
I
what
know.
made me go, oh,
I think
feel like
that
they've
is
gotten
cute.
closer.
so yeah,
Yeah, I
another,
think that's cute as shit. I do. But it is very childish.
Yes.
Mm.
And I always like seeing Wayne not being like the Mary Sue. You know
they're
what
all
I mean?
they're also out there super drunk, I think.
Oh,
So-
they're all fucking hammered,
I
but
mean, because Joint Boy is not only drunk, he is high. He's like
too-
Renee.
too high to
So
count.
he's
And that is the
we've got-
last time I will ever laugh at Joint Boy.
we've got our own Joint Boy.
I kind of love that because I have to disconnect the real person from the character with that particular one. I am very okay with Joint Boy not having too many speaking lines and then just basically objectifying him.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. That's fine.
Like,
Yeah,
and
I can get on board.
I feel like the way that everybody was separated too kind of meant something because you had like all of the main Hicks plus Tyson, and then you had everybody else. And even
And Joint Boy.
when Dickens walked up, he walked up to the one that wasn't everybody else, and not
No,
saying
he
that there's
was-
anything about that.
He
but
he took his beer from the one that Joint
from
Boy.
one, and then he leaned up against the same one that Joint Boy was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
so he did
I-
everything interacting
gotcha.
with that one.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
talking with the other.
Correct.
I just the way that they did that, like when we were talking about filming because of COVID earlier, it made me think, well, maybe they had little like this is my pod.
Yeah, they had
this
bubbles.
Is my pod. I can film with these
Right.
people and I can film with these people, and when my backs are turned, maybe I have a mask on or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, rabbit hole.
So,
I
where are you with
genuinely
Tyson?
think they did, because of the size of the production. I think they did have like independent bubbles. You know,
That makes sense. Ferda, and just putting out there that like the tattoos get better every time he takes the shirt off. I will fully admit that.
yeah.
And what does this one right here say on him? I wonder. 'Cause
I
it says
don't know.
something.
On Tyson, oh, it's Valentina. That's his daughter's name.
Aw, okay.
All right. So,
Like I can't even like see anything below like the very tippy top of your tits, and I knew what you were talking about, right? Like that's how much I have studied Tyson's personal geography.
for those of you who aren't watching, you're missing a good show.
Right?
So,
Fucking serves you right. Join the live stream, cowards.
So, let's go on to Joint Boy then.
I'll refer to Joint Boy because he's too high to fight.
Right? Joint Boy in this episode
I mean-
reminds me of when Grace would get ready to go on road trips with us, and she would sit in the back of the car and giggle the entire drive from Seattle to Portland.
That's cute as fuck.
She would just get super fucking high and wrap herself up in a blanket with like a stuffy and sit in the backseat and giggle the entire 4 hours.
Oh, that's adorbs.
But yeah,
But
it-
Ferda.
yep.
No, but seriously, the delivery on the line too high to count.
Yep.
I mean,
just-
because you
wow.
got because what I was about to say is Joint Boy has stopped mid-fight to smoke a joint
Yes.
and then continue on.
Which
Yeah.
is something Joint Boy, when Grace was still alive, it was really easy to compare Joint Boy to Grace because that is so like she may not
Just
have
that, like,
gotten
baseline of like this high.
yeah. Like she was definitely the most knowledgeable person I have ever known about marijuana, and that includes every single person I've ever met in the industry too.
Yeah.
But like without doing anything physical, she could rip you to shreds, but she would stop probably 2 or 3 times in the middle of it to smoke. So like that's absolutely
Nectar of the gods, fellas.
anyway. Yep. So
All right, so you got Joint Boy as Ferda. So then we're going on to Jim Dickens.
Dickens.
So where are you with Dick Skin?
I mean, he doesn't actually do anything, but I'm kind of a permafuck for Jim.
I would think I would be too, but
He's
just
listen.
he's
I
just a way
married
to
a
move
man
the
who is
story.
literally 1 foot and 1 inch taller than me, and has a full dark brown beard and 8 inches
So you have a
of
you have a type.
ponytail.
Yeah, he actually, he looked like he had a little bit of gray in there.
Yeah. The spouse is getting
Gray
There you
hair.
go.
The older I get, the sexier gray hair is. I have to admit.
hey.
Right? I mean, I haven't dyed my hair or bleached my hair in over a year, and I'm like, I fucking love the sparkles in my
Yeah,
hair.
like,
But you
okay,
can't see it in
so
the camera. So
originally I had like a little skunk stripe in my hair to like try and cover up all the gray. But now I have not had my hair dyed in like over 2 years. So
yeah, I just cut most of my bleached ends off. I think we're down to about that much is still
I'm kind of
bleached
scared
from.
about cutting my hair
last time.
because like I've known too many women, they cut their hair and they can never get their length back.
I mean, I shaved my head off after we got married because I had been growing my hair out for the wedding and literally was so fucking upset with having so much hair. And then COVID, Dean has been shaving the sides of my head, but thanks to COVID, like me cutting my hair in the bathroom sink like 2 weeks ago was the first haircut I got in a really long time. So
Yeah, no, I my hair is such a pain in the ass when it's short. Like
this is long for me. This is
this
like
is less than half. This is less than half.
nah,
All
it's
right,
too
like
much.
Okay.
You're bleached. You're muted.
You keep letting that go. Someone's going to think you're part of some Christian cult.
Right?
No, look, it's easier to keep like this because it's curly and there's so much of it. And if it's shorter, then I have to like constantly fuss with it and take care of it. This
Valid.
I can just put up in a clip or a bun or a braid and be fucking done.
Or headphones.
I don't think I can have it go any longer than what I've got right now, but that also probably depends on if I ever grow the rest of my hair out again.
Yeah, I mean, I like the feeling. I've definitely had my head buzzed. And I like the feeling. I like the stim of playing with it and everything. I do not like having to do that shit every 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
That's fucking irritating.
Yes, I agree with that.
So the trade-off for me is like this is easier. And I
Right.
don't wash it that often. Like once a week, once every 2 weeks. Fuck it.
Same.
Well,
Ferda for me on Jim Dickens. Can she hold her finger over a lighter for more than a minute? I'm assuming that's what that
Oh,
was.
what is that? So
fucking
that's
what?
from episode 1, season 1. For hold your finger over the lighter.
No, I know what they're referencing, but he didn't even do it for a minute. He did it like for maybe 10 seconds.
Right?
Maybe.
then Renee says ignore that. So you both further on Jim Dickens? All right.
Yeah.
So,
Like
all
I
right.
said, there's not much in this episode that like
All right.
pulls me the other way.
Moving along. Sturt.
Ferda.
Sturt.
I'll always see is his head and then later, introducing his band.
Two cock.
Like, why him and Rold and Allie and Bianca coming out from behind the dumpsters though?
Right, and that Roldy and Stuart were really excited about it, and Ellie and Bianca are like, we're coming out from behind a dumpster.
You know, like that's your grand entrance from behind a skip. Like that's your idea of
Sure.
all right, whatever. The only reason I'm not fighting him for taking those two classy broads behind the dumpster is because he did actually show up, even though they scarpered. Rold and Stewart came back and stopped Dirks from like cutting out the back, so that's the only reason I'm not gonna fight him.
All right. T. You're both
I already
Ferda?
said
Oh yeah,
Ferda.
that's right.
Yeah.
That was like the first
All
thing
right.
I said.
Then Roldy is next.
Ferda.
Ferda.
Ferda, give him
All
a
right.
cuddle.
It's that same. Yeah, definitely.
Tannis.
Fuck.
Yeah.
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 All right. Then
I spent too much time staring at her tits trying to see if that
Like
baby was the
Jesus,
same
they
one.
were fucking nice though, eh?
That was right after she had the baby, so of
yeah,
course.
she's got baby boobs. Axe and slash.
Oh.
Ferda.
Yeah. What were they? What was the thing we used to call them? Grumpy uncles or something?
Oh, surly uncles. That
Surly
wasn't
uncles.
them.
No,
That
that's,
was
no,
those were
that's
Joint Boys
JB's
guys.
crew, man.
What
Yeah.
did we call them? Because she's auntie.
The niblets.
The nephews.
Yeah. Rolled Ferda always. Yeah, Renee.
Like I noticed that sometimes that doesn't.
Oh, we
come
got
up
somebody
on
dropping in while they're doing
Anonymous
homework.
Facebook user, welcome.
I
Yeah.
was monitoring
You can
that
always
earlier,
you can always skip homework. That's unnecessary.
Yeah, I should be doing my homework.
All right. So then in that case, then let's continue on.
Yeah,
So you got for Axe and slash both for Gail.
Ferda.
Yeah,
Ferda. Anik.
Man,
She made it. She made the right decision in the end.
She did make the right decision in the end. She chose the correct side. I'm gonna say Ferda.
yeah, if only to give her some counseling on like how to choose a nice guy.
Right.
But
Yeah,
stay
she's
away
French.
from
Maybe
Gary.
they don't have a lot of sense there.
Like, because Gary Bonnie is endgame, and I don't need you fucking that up.
Oh, it's Heidi. That was
Oh, okay.
that's
Hi,
Heidi's our anonymous Facebook
Hello,
person.
Heidi.
I was on the feed on my phone, so I saw earlier when we had ones that just said,
It's funny.
see Danielle up there? Did you get that one?
No,
On
I
YouTube there.
missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Daniel. We are all big fans of the Tannis because damn.
Yo.
Okay. Where were
All
we?
right,
What?
so So we just finished. So next is Shania.
I'd fuck her because she's hot looking though,
Dude, right?
and her
Like,
dance.
does she get prettier every time? Like, I don't know.
Like, hey, Emily and Jade, hit me up.
I'm saying Ferda
and-
because it's me, but
And we need some Shayla back as well. Some Kara G needs to come back.
hell yeah.
I mean, I know
That
she's
one
deep
is
in. Well,
breaking
I mean, because The
Expanse.
Expanse is over now.
Is
So yeah, well, the season 6 is the final season. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Shyla and Shania, please.
yeah. All right. So what was the bro dude? Emma? Emily?
Emma.
Emma. So Emma, where are we with Emma?
Can I watch her and Hannes?
I'd be into that.
Well, I'd be into that.
I'd be
Who
into both
who's
of
not
them
in?
together, though.
I would be suspect of anybody who's not into that. So
I mean, I like that getting laid regularly is helping her not be such a bitch. And hope that stays because she's very pretty and could be a cool character. But she's just always so nasty that I don't like her a
snark.
lot.
She has a lot of snark for sure.
Okay, so
Snark is fine, but if you only have snark,
Snippy snark.
if you only have snark, it gets thin really fast. Yes.
I agree with what you're saying. However, I want to point out that for every Emma, there are like 150 male characters that are just like that, and
Shorzy.
they get all kinds of pussy.
I usually hate.
Right. Like I like the inversion. I like I like having that dynamic kind of turned on its head just by virtue of the fact that it's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Vanessa Matsui is fucking hot. So fuck.
I don't disagree with that. All right. So where are we with? So what did we decide? Are we fucked?
I'm fucking Tiara's Ferda.
All right.
It's basically
Right.
Ferda or fight. I'll do it.
It's all good. Cassie and Tassie.
Meh.
I
I'm
think
neither
that they
here nor
deserve
there.
better than Shorzy, but they deserve
Yeah,
better than
but
Riley
Shorzy's
and
also
Jonesy,
still a
too.
step up in terms of like personal attention and getting their fucking names right.
Yep. Agreed.
So like
Ferda.
what's that for, Renee?
So we're Ferda on them.
Ferda.
Yeah, all right.
All right. Shorzy.
I don't want to even Ferda him, but I'm Ferdaing him.
I'm gonna fuck him.
All right.
Do it.
Yeah. Just to see what the fuss is about, right? Like maybe he's got a 90 tongue and can breathe through his ears.
I guess I never thought of that.
I mean, I kind of think that that's kind of where Renee wants more Cassie and Tassie.
Oh yeah, all right.
Personally,
I think it would be cool if they showed up on Shorzy's the Shorzy
yeah.
show.
I think it would be interesting, yeah.
All right.
Although, hold on Shorzy, they've got Laurence Leboeuf as
I don't know who that
one
is.
of the. Oh, please look her up. She would be a lazy fuck.
I think Shorzy would be a lazy. Good job, Danielle. I
He
agree.
doesn't
Listen,
complain about everybody
as
else's
long
kinks.
as he's not running his mouth, if it's otherwise occupied, I'm okay.
Okay.
No, but look up Laurence Leboeuf. She was on 19-2 with Jared Kizo, and not only is she an excellent character actor, she's fucking hilarious because she was in a film called Turbo Kid, which I actually pranked my husband
I've
with
seen that
into
with
believing
my
it was a
students.
film from the 80s.
Yeah.
Because the title card opens up in the far off future of 1997.
All right then.
Oh yes, this was one that my students definitely requested.
Turbo Kid?
All right.
Okay,
So, I
where
know.
are we?
Well, I'm gonna jump to the last one
Okay.
before I go back to the two before it. Ali and Bianca.
Ferda.
Right. Okay. And I know because I have to have some fights. Dirks
Fight.
and Elmo and the Cousins.
Fight.
Talk to them and keep them occupied until Wayne shows up for a fight.
Well, then you get into a fight with them.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
how it is. No, dude, that's not what we're doing.
Is that how it is?
That's how it is. That's how I say it is.
Oh, and how do you say it is?
That's how. Talk.
No, that man's gift for turning absolutely like beat fucking red at the drop of a hat is
probably
just what? Like, is that genetic and unattainable or what?
I mean, I don't. Yeah,
I'm a Derby retiree. I'm old and broken, Renee.
But
But I will support the hell out of you when you start doing Derby in where are you?
He's in
Colorado.
Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado.
He's in the Colorado.
Hell yeah.
Back on quads.
Get on the quads.
Show us the quads, Renee.
They have short.
I don't even know where my
See, now that would be
quads are.
hilarious. Shorzy gets booted out and has to go, but needs to be on skates, so he goes and does roller derby instead.
He does cross training. He does cross training. If he did cross training up there, I could even tell you which roller derby team. Like, just give me a second, I'll figure it out. But he should do cross training with them because that is a different skill set. And a lot of hockey players play roller derby, and they do like ice and floor.
There you go.
So, in fact, I knew there are quite a few Olympic winning hockey players, roller hockey players, and ice hockey players that play derby. And recently, a amazing athlete that I used to know from derby, Aaron Jackson, just made the Olympics for speed skating. I think it is.
Okay, hold on. Can you send me this shit?
Which shit?
The hockey derby crossover.
Oh,
Like, just
I'll
a
see if I
list
can
of them.
find stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
There's a
Well,
no, it's a lot. It's not like
it's not a sport that's a crossover. It's people who do.
No. I know.
Okay.
Like, but
I
like
just wanna make sure you-
examples, right?
Gotcha.
I mean, I can tell you examples from 10 years ago when I used to play.
It's been a
Good
bit.
enough.
Renee
As
used to
long
do
as they
hockey.
like actually exist.
Oh yeah, there was a girl, a woman on Team USA for roller derby whose name was Hockey Honey because she was a medalist in hockey.
Mm-hmm.
So,
No
that's
men's team.
That can't be true. That cannot be true. Is that true?
Maybe a co-ed or something.
Maybe they folded.
Who knows?
It might be that Denver is
So-
co-ed.
So yeah, I remember.
Denver is a big
I remember
team.
Renee talking about how he did hockey and taking
Yeah.
the bus.
Well, I
With
seen it on his fucking IG story
they
just
got it.
the other day or today.
Renee, there
He had wheels on
there is
his bag.
There's a men's team. Go to Denver Roller Derby, and they have a men's team. Go to Denver Roller Derby,
How far is? Because I think.
or if it's a different city, give me that, and I'll help you. He said Denver. On
Oh,
the
okay.
thing.
Well, or maybe they're on hiatus during
Oh, most
all this
most
stuff. So
teams are right now. There's a couple of teams, places that have the ability to play outside have been able to keep going. So I know people down in like Southern California who were able to have a couple of games in before the most recent whatever trauma has been happening down there.
most recent lockdown.
Yeah. It's connected to the women's team. Just hasn't. Oh, okay. Sorry,
Oh.
I'm reading the comments before you actually put them up on.
I'm connected to the women's team. The men's team just hasn't developed. I see.
Okay.
So it's probably a bunch of fresh meat, maybe.
Well, I don't know.
Who
Well,
knows?
then let the ladies kick your ass and say thank you.
Yeah.
Duh.
Or do what like so many other roller derby people do, like pick a city that's close by that you can sign up with and only like do practice with them like once a month or whatever, and then practice with Denver.
Yeah, right.
Like I know lots of men in the I-5 corridor who go up and down between the 4 or 5 men's hockey teams. You like live in Seattle, but they play for Portland or Vancouver or whatever. So anyway,
Right on. Final thoughts.
final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Time for your final thoughts.
My final thoughts. Series 10 is a banger. Please watch.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with the way that even after such a long hiatus that it felt just like it should. It wasn't like a season 7 happening after a 2-year break. It was like, I don't even know what to compare it to, but it was nice.
Oh, okay. One final thought.
Yeah.
Series 10 is the series 4 we would have gotten if Clark Bacco had not been in LA filming that Supernatural spinoff.
I can believe that. I can believe that.
There you
Okay.
go.
All right then.
Because that's why she left Letterkenny.
Yeah, that's why she was largely off screen in series 4 was because she was in LA.
And then so many people complained about, there was nothing between them because she's not there all the time.
But Supernatural's all filmed up in Canada. All except for like 2 episodes of the first season.
The main series, yeah, but she wasn't actually filming that Supernatural. She was filming the spinoff.
Right, which was which took
the pilot.
Yeah.
The pilot and the pilot series were all done in LA.
Because that was I remember the scene where they all like started off, got together, was all part of the Supernatural. Was a part of a Supernatural episode, and they continued it on from there.
I'm the main. Okay.
2016, 2017. When was that? It was the whatchamacallit? Oh gosh, Wayward Daughters or whatever it was.
Right. So
I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at
I can't remember
her IMDb, which doesn't, show everything, obviously, because Canadian actors and actresses do not get the kind of obsession that the US does. But depending on where you look,
mostly their reps fill that shit out.
Right. But so depending on where you look, if we're talking 2016, she did several episodes on a show called Shoot the Messenger. She did a couple episodes on Winona Earp, and she did 8 episodes on a show called 21 Thunder, which looks like
never heard of that.
That is probably what she was doing because that's about the right time.
Series 4 would have been 2017.
Yeah.
Yep. And this came out in 2017.
Behind, the filming is at least 6 months behind.
Yeah.
Release.
Yeah. The show that she did almost a whole season on was 2017, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then she did 8 episodes of Designated Survivor. Didn't get that far into that show.
No, we didn't. Because
there's the Supernatural. So the Supernatural episodes aired at the end of it was the 2017-2018 season.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot. I don't know.
So she was very busy and she was off screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So excited to continue on. Looking forward to, and as Renee here has said, looking forward to getting to talk about some dick meat. We're gonna have a big old
Renee for the DX.
Me and Renee gonna give Tiara a sausage party. So anyway,
can I just watch? I won't say anything. I promise you can leave me on mute.
I mean, we may stream it. Who knows?
I'll just call in.
I like making her blush.
Yeah, it's his favorite thing in the world to make me like laugh, snort, and that takes some buildup.
Confirm. Can confirm. All right.
I mean, like dicks are inherently funny, though.
True. Dicks and dicks. So awesome. Tell us what you got going on, where to find you, all that nifty shit.
Oh, for fuck. Okay, so obviously, or Letterkenny, I'm the moderator. I'm the head moderator now. We are putting out a call for some backup moderators because 220 something thousand people. We need help.
Do we really need? I mean,
yes.
I'm sure we could.
I only have so many hours in the day.
All of those degens are scaring the cast. They don't want to do AMAs and stuff because they don't want. They're afraid of the people in the Reddit.
Michelle Milet said in an interview, and yes, okay, the author of that interview and article reached out to me and said, it was mostly joking, and I'm like, okay, but I have to take that seriously.
Yep.
And then there's also, of course, the Letterkenny Discord,
Mhm.
and I'm the head moderator there.
Mhm.
I'm What Do You Mean It's Not Awesome on Twitter. I'm also at Letterkenny_or on Twitter. I run both those accounts. Check out the Produce Stand Pod because I'm very active in their DM group. And I have my archive of our own fan fiction account. What Do You Mean It's Not Awesome? And I'm What Do You Mean It's Not Awesome on Tumblr. So I think that's it. I think that's everything.
All right then.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Well, you know where I am.
I know where you are.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know.
this is our first official podcast in our new house. So both Podskier and Boondocks has not started up again yet, but both I assume will be on soon.
And Disputed as well.
And Disputed will be back soon. And
Yeah, we have
Let me know
more
when
moving.
you come up with that whatever special.
We have more moving parts. So yeah, our Disputed thing will be a whole bracketed tournament. So we'll see how that works out. Demond and I have to sit down, check out Demond Does as well. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out and get it all going, because I'm sure that lots of Letterkenny folk would like to see how Wayne fares against others.
yeah, it'll be fun.
All right. Well, if we're all done, then
I guess so.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Thanks so much for joining us again. It's great to be back, starting this new season. Looking forward to next week, season 10, episode 2, Dealership, with our good friend Dennis Guggen. Googsy. Googsy. All right, fine, not Googsy. So yeah, and thank you to Hard Money Saints for our music today. Thank you, awesome, for joining us. We love you so much. Thanks for everybody who's watched. Thanks for everybody who's listening. Go rate, review, give us kudos, say stuff. Go follow us. I think we now need 2 more follows for we hit 4,000. So anyway, we'll see you next time. Take care.
Run that freeway down. Don't spend too long since baby's been to town.